Hi everyone, welcome back. This is my third quarterly makeup check-in video of the year. So I start off the year detailing how my entire makeup collection looks, and then I set myself targets for each of the categories, and then I do a check-in every 3 months. So this is my third one this year. So I'm going to tell you how all of the categories within my makeup collection look, whether I'm on target for some of them or not. Now, a lot of them do look very similar to last time, but there are some categories that have changed. So there are some categories where I've bought more makeup in, but then I've also had things like declutters and I've used up makeup as well. So there are quite a few changes to kind of talk about, but then there are those few categories as well that have stayed the same. So let's get straight into things. Let's start talking about all of these different categories, because I'm aware that these videos do take a long time. And I've got my laptop here in front of me with my spreadsheet for all of my numbers. Okay, starting with the base products. Now, primer has stayed the same in terms of the numbers. I've had one throughout the entire year. I've got a goal of 3, and that's just in case I fancy trying a couple of new primers. I did used to have the Bobbi Brown face base, which I love, an excellent primer. However, I recently used that up and I've replaced it with the NYX Plump Right Back primer. I've got that on today. I think it's good, it's a nice primer, but it's not as good as the Bobbi Brown one. So I am coming in under my goal of 3 for primer, so that is good. Foundations again have stayed the same in terms of the numbers throughout the whole year. I've had 4 throughout the entire year and I've got a goal of 5. Again, that just allows me some variation in the types of products, the types of finishes, formulations. Now, the products themselves, throughout this year I used up Estee Lauder Double Wear Light. I also used up Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. Since the last check-in, I've used up the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. I had a mini one, about 5 mils, I think, of the foundation. Loved that. And I also decluttered e.l.f. Flawless Finish as well. So this category has changed in terms of all of the types of foundations I've had. I've used some up and I've decluttered some as well. So I currently have 4. I've got the Bare Minerals Original Loose Powder Foundation. I've got NARS Sheer Glow, and I recently bought Yves Saint Laurent Touche Eclat foundation as well. But I've also got in here the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, which technically isn't a foundation. And I think when I did my makeup inventory check-in last time, I think it was Laura who said that she would put that under a liquid highlighter, which it kind of is. It is a bit like a highlighter. It's definitely not a foundation. But I'm putting it in my foundation category because I use it like a foundation. I kind of whack it on all over my face and I apply it with my foundation product, so either a foundation or a concealer. So although it's not technically a foundation, I'm going to keep it in this category for now. So numbers for that stayed the same, 4 throughout the whole year, and my goal is 5. Concealers have changed recently. I've had 3 this whole year, and I had 3 at the last check-in, but I'm now currently at my target of 5, and that's because I've recently bought a couple of concealers. I bought the Vive Modern Radiance Concealer and also a mini NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, but I've also got the 2 Fenty ones that I'm panning. I am either going to have completely used them up by the end of the year, or I'm going to declutter them because they're not great. I've got them on today's foundation, and after I did my makeup I looked in the mirror and then my face just looked awful. I had to go back in and blend it all out. It was horrible. So I'm not that keen on these concealers now, so if I haven't used them up by the end of the year I will be getting rid of them. And then my hair's coming out, and then I've also got the Too Faced Born This Way concealer as well, which I'm not massively impressed with. So I've got 5 at the moment. I'm at my target, but by the next check-in by the end of the year that will be down to 3 because the 2 Fenty ones have gone, or I might be back up again if I've bought any more in the meantime. Colour corrector has stayed the same. I've got a goal of 1 and I've had 1 throughout the whole year, and it's the same one, the Bobbi Brown Under Eye Corrector. I'm currently panning that though. I've got a really big pan, and I'm only panning it because I want to try the stick version of it. So this one I'm on target, that one hasn't changed. Powder hasn't changed either, goal of 2, and I've had 2 throughout the whole year, the same 2 products, Laura Mercier Loose Translucent and the Fenty Invisimatte. Bronzer again has stayed the same, goal of 3, I've had 3 throughout the whole year, the Fenty Cream Bronzer and the Fenty Powder Bronzer, both of which are in my project pan. Hoping to be done with the cream one by the end of the year because I have recently repressed that. I've kind of scraped out the cream and pushed it into the centre of the packaging. And then I've also got the Vive Modern Bronzing Duo. So I've got 3 bronzers, I'm on target for that. I've still got in here contour, and that's because I had a contour product last year and I kept this category just in case I wanted to add to my contour collection. I currently have no contour products, and I've had no contour products this whole year, but I've got myself a goal of 1 or a target limit of 1 just in case there's a contour product I come across and I think I have to own that. But we're in October and that's not happened yet, so this one stayed the same as well. Blusher is next, and this one has changed recently. I started off the year on 3, that then doubled at the next check-in to 6, had 6 at the last check-in, and that's my goal, so I was previously at my goal. However, I'm now up to 7. I recently bought the Stila cream blusher in the shade Lilium, and that's what they used on Daphne in Bridgerton, and I just adored her makeup in that, so I had to buy that. And I'm now up to 7. However, I do have a duplicate Vive blusher in my collection that I haven't touched, and I do need to either sell that or pass that on to somebody. And I swear I say that at every single check-in in these makeup inventory videos. I just need to pass that on. So once I've done that, I'll be back down to 6. Highlighter has changed. I had a goal of 1 for the year. I'm not a highlighter fan. I don't really need more than 1. And I've had 2 throughout this whole year, but I recently used up the mini Becca Champagne Pop from my Project Pan, so I'm now down to 1. I've got the mini Rare Beauty highlighter in the shade Mesmerised, I think. It's like a pink, a cool tone pink. Not my kind of shade, but it is quite pretty. So I will be at some point panning that, but I don't really want to be panning that anytime soon after having panned another highlighter throughout the whole year. I have a new category, face palettes. I didn't have any at the start of the year or the last check-in, but I recently bought from my wish list the Vive Dimension face palette in the shade Dawn. You get a bronzer, 2 blushes and a highlighter, and it is beautiful and I love it, and I'm so happy that I've got that. It's an excellent product. So I'm at 1. I haven't set a target for this though, but I don't really see myself adding to this unless Vive come out with any more. So for now, I've just got the 1. Okay, moving into eyes, face and eye palettes. I had a goal of 4 for the year, and I've had 4 throughout this whole year as well, so I was at that goal. However, I've recently halved this. In my recent declutter, I was a bit ruthless. I got rid of a fair amount of makeup, and I got rid of 2 Laura Geller face and eye palettes because they were quite pinky. I don't wear a lot of pink makeup, and they're also quite cool toned as well, so not really my shades, don't really suit my complexion, so I decluttered those. So I currently have 2. And like with the face palettes, I don't really see myself adding to these. I'm not really a face or a face and eye palette type of person. I like to get them separately, unless it's the Vive one, which just looked perfect. Next is eyeshadow primers. I have a goal of 1 for the year. I don't really need more than 1 eyeshadow primer. 1 does the job. However, I've had 2 throughout this whole year, and I've still currently got 2. I'm panning the NYX eyeshadow base, and that is clinging on for dear life. I don't know when that's going to be used up. Recently I thought, oh yeah, I'm getting really low with this product now. There's hardly any left. But I'm still managing to get some out every time I use it. So I'm hoping by the end of the year that one will be used up, so I'll be down to 1, I'll be down to my target, but I'm currently over by 1, I'm at 2. Glitter primer has also stayed the same throughout this year. I've got a goal of 1, and I've had 1 the whole year, and it's the NYX glitter primer. I don't really use that often though. I used that loads last year, but this year I don't seem to use it. It's a brilliant product though. It really makes your glitter eyeshadows or your foiled shimmer eyeshadows just sparkle that bit more, makes them a lot more vivid. But I just don't tend to reach for it. Maybe I need to include that in a Shop My Stash sometime soon. Now, where I've arguably made the biggest change is in my eyeshadow singles. I had a goal of 17 for the year, and I started the year on 19 and had 19 at that next check-in in April. I then started an eyeshadow roulette, and I came across 2 eyeshadows that I didn't like, didn't suit me, so I decluttered them. So at July's check-in, I had 17, so I was on target. But since then, I've kind of stuck with the eyeshadow roulette. I've now, put it to one side for the moment. But since the last check-in, I've decluttered a further 7 eyeshadow singles. I think they were colours that were too dark, too cool toned, or too bright and vivid, just shades that I don't wear. I'm very simple with my makeup, so I don't go for loads of dark or vibrant colours. I like things very kind of like neutral, kind of earthy. So I was at 17, and I'm now currently down to 10. So I'm well below that 17 figure, and I don't see myself adding to this at all, really. I think in terms of makeup, eyeshadow is the area that I'm just not really that interested in. I'm not that good at it. I don't like wearing a load of colour on my eyes, so it's not really a category that I feel like I want to add to. So this should hopefully either stay the same or it might go down if I discover more that I don't really wear. Eyeshadow duos are next. This is another one that stayed the same. Goal of 1, had one throughout the whole year, and it's the NARS Isolde duo. Currently in my shop, my stash, and I love it. Next is eyeshadow palettes. Had a goal of 9 for the year. Started off the year on 5, then went up to 6, and I think that's because I got the Vive Muse palette for my birthday. Down to 5 because I decluttered the Forever Flawless by Revolution. It was a really bright, like rainbow type of eyeshadow palette. Beautiful, but I just don't wear those colours, and I'm still at 5. And I think this category is going to stay the same for the same reasons as I just gave for the eyeshadow singles. I also feel like I've got all the eyeshadow colours that I need. So I've got my Urban Decay Naked Heat, I've got Vive Muse, Vive Essentials, ABH Norvina and Modern Renaissance, and I feel like that kind of covers all the types of shades that I like wearing. So I don't feel like my eyeshadow palette collection is really missing anything, so this really should stay at 5. Eyeshadow sticks are next. These have stayed the same since the last check-in. So I started the year on 1 and then I've had 2 at every check-in since. I have a goal of 5 and that's because I own the Vivi ones and they are brilliant. I have Camel on today actually, and there are a couple more shades that I want to add to my collection. So I put a target of 5 just in case I wanted to add any more. I haven't yet. I was very close the other day. I very nearly ordered one. So I do have that kind of wiggle room to go up if I want to, but still currently at 2, well below that target of 5. Next is eyeliners. Eyeliners have stayed the same in terms of the numbers. Goal of 5, I've had 5 at each check-in. I did, however, declutter MAC Power Surge. I don't have a note of when I decluttered it though, that's quite silly of me. So I don't know whether I decluttered it before or after the previous check-in, but I have bought the Charlotte Tilbury Eye Colour Magic Liner duo in Mesmerising Maroon, so I decluttered one but then I bought one, so that's why the numbers have stayed the same. But I am on target for that one is fine, and I am panning MAC Teddy. I'm doing really well with that, hoping to be done with that by the end of the year, and I'm kind of unofficially panning Peaches and Cream Dynasty, which is like a burnt orange copper shade. So hoping to be down to 3 by the end of the year, so that one is fine. Liquid eyeliner has changed. I started off the year on 1 and then had 2 in April, 2 in July. I'm back down to 1 and that's because I decluttered the KVD tattoo liner. I don't really like a black eyeliner on myself, especially a black liquid liner. Liquid eyeliner is very harsh, very unforgiving. You've got to be quite good at it, and I'm not. So I decluttered that one, but I have kept the Ico Cocoa Edit brown liquid eyeliner. Much more flattering on me. I really like that. I have a target of 2 for this category, but to be honest, I'm not going to be buying any other liquid eyeliners. I've got one brown one. That's really all I need. So this one should stay at 1. Next is mascara. This one has kind of changed. I started off the year on 1, had 3 in April, over my goal in July at 4. My goal was 3, and I'm back down to 2. So I think I said at my previous check-in, I'm over by 1 with my goal for mascaras, but there were 2 that I was using that were very close to reaching their expiry. So I decluttered those 2, and I've now currently got a MAC one. I've got a mini stack, I think it's called. I got that as a sample, but I've not yet opened that. And I'm currently using the Clinique Lash Power Mascara in Dark Chocolate. That's the one I've got on today. That's the one I'm using every single time that I wear my makeup. So if you see mascara, it's the Clinique one. Really, really enjoy this one. I think it's lovely. So I've got a goal of 3 and I've currently got 2, so this one is also fine. Eyebrows have stayed the same, goal of 2, had 2 throughout the whole year. NYX Micro Brow and Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter, which is what I've got in my brows. I've got both of them today. False lashes have stayed the same, had 1 throughout the whole year, the same one, goal of 1. However, I haven't worn false lashes once this year, so I should probably get rid of them because I don't wear them. I don't even know if the glue still works anymore. I'm just not really a false lash type of person. Too fiddly for me. Don't like how they feel. I would much rather like load up on mascara. Okay, moving into the last category. This is all lip products. Lip balm, I have a goal of 2 and I'm currently at my goal. Had 2 at the start of the year and then 3 at the previous 2 check-ins, and I'm now down to 2 because I used up the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast lip balm. Didn't really like that. It dried out my lips and just wasn't a very nice lip balm, so that's gone. I've got the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask in the pot. I'm really close to using that up actually, maybe by the end of the year, but a little does go a long way. And then I've also got the Bondi Sands SPF 50, I think, lip balm. So at my target for that, so that's fine. Don't really need to add to that category. Next is lip liner, and in terms of the numbers, it's not really changed that much, but I feel like the products within this category have changed. So with the numbers, started off the year on 10 in April, 9 at the last check-in. I've now got 11. My goal is 7, so I am 4 over my goal. But in terms of the actual products, I decluttered MAC Brick, which was a cool toned red. I also decluttered a really dark berry shade. I don't wear a lot of dark shades on my lips. And also decluttered a cool tone pink. And then I've also used up MAC Oak, MAC Subculture, Estee Lauder Nude, and I'm also really close to using up MAC Strip Down. So I've decluttered some, I've used up a good few, but then I've also added some as well. So earlier in the year I added 2 Vive lip liners, and recently, a few weeks ago, I bought 4 NYX lip liners. So although I am over my target by 4, I kind of don't really care. And that's because there are some categories of makeup that I'm fine with having like 1 or 2 in. And then there's other categories where I like shopping for. I like to have a good selection of products. And lip products and base products are categories of makeup that I just really like shopping for. So although I am over my target with this isn't really bothering me. It's a category that I am still working on. So I'm hoping to be done with MAC Strip Down soon. Once I am, I will pan Vive Velvet Sands. So that will be 2 that I have used up. And then I wear lip liners basically every time I wear makeup. So they are products that I wear on a really, really regular basis. Another category that has changed quite a bit is my lipstick category. This was another category of makeup that was quite big and needed to be controlled. And I started off the year on 15. I then went up to 20 in April. And that's because I bought 2 Vive lipsticks. And then my stepmom bought me 3 further lipsticks. So I went up to 20. After that, I had a declutter, went down to 16, so that was a good reduction. But since then, I've had a further declutter, and I've had quite a ruthless declutter. I very nearly halved it. I was at 16, and I'm now down to 9, and my target is 12. So I'm now at single figures with regards to my lipsticks. So overall, the products themselves that have changed, I've decluttered 3 Estee Lauder ones, 3 MAC ones, a NYX one, Clinique, 2 L'Oreal ones. I've used up 2 lipsticks as well, and I'm currently panning another lipstick. So this is another category that's changed in terms of what I have brought in to the category, what I've decluttered, and what I've used up. So really happy that this one is under my target, under my limit. And out of the lipsticks that I've got in my collection, there's hardly any that I really, really like. I'm just looking at my list here. There's an orange red that I really love, and then there's a nude shade, but the rest I wouldn't repurchase. So maybe next year is when I find and discover lipstick shades that work for me. So if you have a very similar complexion to myself, please let me know what lipsticks you love on yourself so I can try them out next year. Okay, nearly there. Lip gloss, another one that stayed the same. Goal of 3. I've had 3 for most of the year, apart from at the start of the year when I had 1. I currently own 3 Kiko ones. I've got the clear one on at the moment over the top of a few different lip liners. Really love those. Liquid lipstick, I didn't have this as a category at the start of the year. But in April I had the Rare Beauty liquid lipstick, but I didn't like that, so I decluttered it. So at the last check-in I had none, currently got none. I don't really like liquid lipsticks, so this isn't going to be a category I'm going to add to. And then the very last one is a setting spray. Had a goal of 1. I only really need 1 setting spray. So I had 1 at the very start of the year, but I did buy in the Boxing Day sales that extended into the new year a duo of Urban Decay All-Nighter setting spray. And so since April's check-in, I've had 2. I've still got both of them. But I don't really mind that because it's just 2 setting sprays. I can eventually work my way through them. So that's my update in terms of each of the individual categories. In terms of the overall number, in terms of my targets that I set myself, my overall number is 103, so that's the limit in terms of the makeup items in my collection. At the last check-in, I was at 101, but I'm now down to 86. I'm now down to double digits. I own 86 pieces of makeup. And there's really only 4 categories where I'm over my target. So blusher is one of them, but if I can hand over that Vive blusher to somebody, then that will go down to 6. I'm over my eyeshadow primers by 1, but I'm panning the next one, hoping that one will be done very soon. Also, lip liners, I'm 4 over, but I've explained that one. That one doesn't bother me, that's fine. And then the setting spray. So overall, looking really, really good for this inventory. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you liked that little kind of like deep delve into my makeup collection. Please let me know what your inventory is looking like, what categories you've got lots of products in, what categories have you got hardly any in. I'm quite nosy, so I really like to see what people's makeup collections look like, so please do let me know. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon for my next one. Bye.